What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the UFC show. Uh, lots to talk about. Lots to talk about this week. Even before we even start the card, there's lots to talk about. Oh man, like right now it's just like the beginning of summer. We've got me. I'm planting my garden. I've got my garden all set up. I've got 7 cucumber plants, about a little under 20 tomato plants, um, some peppers, some cabbage, about 12 heads of cabbage. I've got 2 jalapeno plants and 2 ghost pepper plants in the garden. Like I said, 12 heads of cabbage, 8 Brussels sprout plants, 4 spaghetti squash, and 4 sweet potatoes, and then I want to say 10 russet potatoes planted, and then I've got 5 Yukon Gold planted. And then inside that, I've got, then in buckets or grow bags, I've got 5 more potatoes. I just whatever was left over between the Yukon Golds and the russets, I just kind of put into grow bags. So it's I've got it could be 3 russets and 2 Yukon Golds, or it could be 2 Yukon Golds and 3 russets, and one russet, 4 Yukon Gold. It's the possibilities are endless. Then I've got 3 buckets that have one bucket has 2 ghost peppers, one has 3 habaneros, and then one has 4 jalapeno plants. So crazy. Got all that planted, and so yeah, that was pretty cool. It's just kind of it's tiring work. You go out there and you dig and you weed eat and stuff. It's tiring work. I come inside and sometimes I'm asleep by 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's weird. But then I go home. Or not. I'm already at home, but you got that. I've got this watch. I've got the new Samsung smartwatch 4. Some bitch tracks my sleep. It does everything. It tells me what my sleep score is. Who knows what the hell that means? It says sometimes I get 55 and sometimes I get 82 and sometimes I get 90. And I couldn't tell you the difference between a 55 and a fucking 90. It's got tons of shit on it. It's got, it tells me my blood oxygen level. It tells me my steps, my, ECG, my stress level, how many steps I took. I said that already. I'm pretty sure it does my taxes too. I'm not sure. I had to get to Dave. Maybe he's got the analytics on it. I don't know. Also, what else I do this week? I cleaned out my truck for the first time in 3 years. Yeah. So it's all cleaned out. I got, Raiders seat covers for it. I got Raiders floor mats for it, which I had the floor mats. I ordered the seat covers. I need to get the steering wheel cover for it, so it's all decked out. It's rusted out, everywhere else, but on the inside, it's looking fly as hell. Got that hoopty, you know what I'm saying? Nah, it's not that bad. There's some rust spots on it, but it's a good truck. It's a Toyota. Some bitch will run forever. That's a paid sponsorship by me promoting Toyota. But yeah, I've been busy. It's just that time of the year where I get to do all my man shit. I get to do the grilling, I get to do the gardening. Um, I haven't mowed the yard this year. My son does it. He's taking a trip with the FFA. He's got driver's ed, so he's got to Guess who pays for it? Me. So, and my wife. So, he's got to pay for it somehow. Does chores like mowing the yard. He's also mowing my friend's yard, and he's gonna use that money to buy a moped. So he's got big plans. Big plans this summer. He also wants. I think he wants to get into sports broadcasting, is what he told me a couple weeks ago. So I mean, need to get him in and do some sort of analytics. Talk about some baseball or something. Give him a little taste of the podcasting and all that. But we're recording this late night, so we're gonna try to get through this, so you can still get some sleep and be productive at work tomorrow. So we take hydration very seriously here. We got that blue Kool-Aid, that blue raspberry lemonade. Hydration straight to the dome. Let's start this fucking show. We'll do it live. Fuck it. I don't know what to say about this card coming up, because basically it's a bunch of finding 5 good picks on this card was hard as fuck. Am I telling you that we might go 2-3 this week? Very possible. 1-4, very possible. 3-2, maybe. But I think we've got the best picks here. There are a couple underdog picks, but for the most part, this card is like it's either lopsided fights or toss-up fights. So it's kind of UFC matchmaking. It stumps me sometimes, because you're like, why do you put these people together and fight? And you'll see that when we break down some of these fights. But let's go ahead and we'll get into last week's event, which was UFC Vegas 54, which was a very good. It wasn't terrible. Let me get that out of the way. This one has the makings to be a card that could surprise us, but this one was, the one coming up is kind of sketchy at best. Lehovich versus Rakic. We'll do a little bit of a recap here before we jump into UFC Vegas 55. This one was not a bad fight. I was really disappointed by the first fight of the night, Maximov versus Petrovsky. I feel like Maximov is going to come out here and wrestle pretty well. He got into some sort of choke during a transition, and just did not work for him. So Maximov right off the bat, that was I'm pretty sure a big L. I'm thinking that was one of our official picks. Let me take a look on my phone here. I forgot, because I do these picks and I forget who I had. Yeah, Maximov by decision was our first fight that we were gonna pick. Very, very, very sketchy pick on my behalf. Maximov was one of the highest favorites in this card. So yeah, it was a very bad start for us in that with that fight. And then moved on to Tatsuro Tara versus Carlos Candelario. Man, Tara had so many times in this fight where he had a submission to get Candelario in, and it's just like he gave up. At one point there was one where Candelario was getting ready to tap. He had his hand up to tap, and Tara lets go of the hold. I don't know why, but we picked Tara to win. We picked Tara to win by sub. If you would have picked Tara on the money line, it would have been 240. Tara by sub was plus 200. I mean, he had so many times he grappled into good positions and stuff, and just didn't, do what you thought he was gonna do. I mean, so he ended up winning. Looked pretty impressive. I think he's gonna do pretty well at flyweight. There's a lot of, they need a lot of fresh blood at flyweight. And I think he'll climb the ranks pretty soon. He's young, and he could be a guy that, is in contention here in a few years. So let's see. Hopefully he fights a couple more times this year, and well, maybe not a couple more times. I doubt he'll do a couple more times, but anyway, I bet he could do 2 more. I bet, especially if he wants to be contending at a young age. Next, we had Verna Jandarova versus Angela Hill. And I liked this fight because I do a draft style pick 'em with me and my friends. So basically, me and him will pick the fighter we want to win. So and then whoever you get, they get the opposite. So if I was okay, my first pick was Maximov this week. So I picked Maximov, so that meant he got Petrovsky, which he ended up winning that because Petrovsky ended up winning. But so that's how you do it. You draft who you want, and then they get the opposite. So I went, and then he picked a fighter, and I got the opposite fighter. I really thought Angela Hill fought like hell. I had Angela Hill in my pick'em. I had her as I didn't pick her. He picked Jandarova. He picked Jandarova, so I got Angela Hill. So I was rooting for Angela Hill in this fight. But she fought hard. Her record does not reflect how well she is fighting. Was able to get out of a lot of grappling situations that Verna put her in. Very good fight on her behalf. She lost it. Hope to see her in there soon again. I can't remember how old she is, if it says on here. No, it doesn't say. It just gives the fight stats. Maybe Sherdog gives it to me. Let's look at Sherdog. Events. You son of a bee. Okay, so how old is Angela Hill? She is 37. I would like to see her a couple more times. I think the UFC has to recognize that she's fighting very good fights. She's taking people to decisions. She's getting better. I would like to see another Angela Hill fight. She's very fun to watch. Would I bet her fight? No, but I love to watch her fight. Next, we had Michael Johnson. I did not watch this fight. I stepped outside to do something and was just like occupied with something else at the time. So Johnson ended up winning by knockout TKO over Alan Patrick. It sounded like it was a decent fight. Michael Johnson, you never know who you're gonna get. So we stayed away from that fight. Next we had one of the picks I picked up for an underdog. Oh, I didn't pick this one. I didn't pick. Huh. I could have swore I picked Araujo, Vivian Araujo to win on my pick'em, but I did not. I picked I swear I did. Araujo was my underdog pick. And then she ended up winning. It was a very good match. Let's take a look at the stats here. Vivian Rojo had 96 total strikes, 39 significant strikes. She was, I think she was able to take down, Lee pretty well. So look for big things out of Viviana Rojo now. They'll probably put her in a pretty good fight. I bet she'll be in contention here pretty soon. Hadley fought Nascimento. Nascimento schooled him. Hadley was oh my god, he is such a fucking just looks like an arrogant, pompous prick. Like it's ugh. Yeah, I picked him, but then I was rooting against him because I was like, God, this guy is he just looked like he's like a person that knows everything, and it might just be the way he looks, but I fucking did not care for his attitude at all. Then we had Camacho versus Torres. Torres came out there and boom, put the lights out on Camacho. Caitlin Chukagan, she won a split decision against Jandarova. This fight was a crazy one because I did see it for Caitlin Chukagan because Ribas was able to get the takedowns. She got a couple takedowns in the first couple rounds, but she didn't do much with them. She just kind of, Caitlin, she would hold Caitlin down for a little bit. She wouldn't do anything, but then Caitlin would get up and press forward with the striking and just was able to, maybe win the round back. Then we had Davey Grant versus Louis Smoka. This fight was a really good one too. Grant was, I'd say Smoka probably lost round one, won round two, and then round three got knocked out. You're hoping to see Smoka, win in the third round, maybe take 2 rounds to 1. Cool decision, but Grant ended up getting the win here. But Smoka was doing pretty good. He is covering up like this a lot when Grant would throw these wide punches, and he got caught and knocked out. Ryan Spann, he got a pretty much a guillotine here. Cutelaba took him down like 2 or 3 times in a row, and then Spann caught that guillotine. Game over. Then we had Jan Lehovich I know I was saying his name wrong, and I mean I know next time I'll probably say his name wrong again because I'll be like Rich. Yeah, it was a good fight, mainly because I picked Rakic originally in my podcast, decided against it, decided to go Rakic, or decided to go Lehovich on Saturday. I just got to thinking, I was like, you know what? Every time Lehovich is counted out, he always comes through and wins. And then, Blachowicz, he's also got he's got a victory over Israel Adesanya. I don't know what I'm saying, Israel Adesanya. It's like this guy and he was an underdog in that fight. He's got crisp boxing. He throws the leg kicks out there. I don't think he necessarily was the reason. Like, he apparently Rakic tweaked this knee during practice, leading up to, training. But he ended up tearing an ACL, I believe, or I think is what it said. But yeah, Lehovich was attacking the legs. The boxing was crisp. The counters were there. Very good striking from Lehovich. I felt like I think he won all the first 2 rounds. I think he was cruising to a victory, I think Lehovich will fight Yuri Prochek though next. Actually, I don't think Teixeira is gonna beat Yuri. Yuri's my Czechoslovakian brother. We're definitely gonna be locking in Yuri bets after this fight night card. I'm gonna be putting all kinds of money on Yuri. Trying to get that good line before it gets too out of hand. But yeah, that was it for the fight night UFC Vegas. It was pretty good. And I'm probably hating on this event, but it is what it is. I mean, it's kind of a bland card. Like I said, the matchups are kind of all over the place. Starting with Elise Reed and Sam Hughes. Don't know what to take here because these two are just kind of 5-1, 6-4. Similar striking. 409 for landed per minute for Elise Reed, 3.96 for Sam Hughes. Significant strikes, same ballpark, Ooh, sorry, yawning. 53% for Elise Reed on significant strikes. 45% for Hughes. Elise Reed absorbs 4.36 strikes per minute compared to Sam Hughes, who gets about 5.7. So they're both walking targets, if you would call it that. They both will take punches. Neither one of them are really into grappling either. Sam Hughes average takedowns per 15 minutes 0.6. Takedown accuracy is about 25%. Takedown defense 55% for Elise Reed, 41% for Hughes. Not too. It's hard to pick on that fight. So that's why we're not. That's not our official picks. Let's see. Next we have one of our official picks. This is going to be Chase Hooper versus Felipe Colares. Chase Hooper has been on about almost a year layoff. Chase Hooper has had some problems with, striking. But Felipe is not a very talented striker either. Both are Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belts. Both have decent records. But I just think that I like Chase. I like Chase Hooper. He's a good kid. I've liked him since he started in the UFC. He's not known for his wrestling, not known for striking, but he's known for his submissions. I think the UFC does want Chase Hooper to succeed. I think that's why they're giving him Felipe Colares. I think Chase Hooper's going to win this fight. He's got a reach advantage on Felipe. I think he can keep him at bay with a jab. He's been working with Wonder Boy. He's been working at all kinds of gyms. He does stick to his main gym though. And he's pretty loyal to that from what I hear from his father. So I'm gonna go with Chase Hooper because I have a feeling that he's an underdog. What did I lock him in? DraftKings must have him at plus 150. I have him. I believe it was like plus 155. Let's see. Chase Hooper is at plus 155 on Caesars. So I do think that this is the first dog pick that we're gonna pick for the evening. Second match. I think it's a good way to start it out. It'll be an entertaining fight. I think Chase Hooper is gonna shock the world. Well, not really the world, but he's gonna shock some people that being the underdog. I think he's gonna surprise some people, especially after spending this time, almost a year. Taking time to learn some things. He's young. Let's see. How old is Chase Hooper? Chase Hooper is really young. He is 22. So at 22, he's had some good fights. He's had 4 fights in the UFC and he's 2-2. He's got a TKO, and a submission win. I think that he's got a chance to prove something, prove that he should still be in the UFC. 22, bright future ahead of him. I think this is I think he should be able to grind out a win here. Probably get a submission is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say probably second round submission. He'll probably, do enough to keep the fight standing, probably keep him at bay with a jab, get into maybe a scramble, land on top. It'll be probably something position over submission. First round. Second round, we're going to probably get in a scramble again, and then out of that scramble is going to come a submission. All right. Going up the card, we have Jonathan Martinez versus Vince Morales. Didn't have let's see. Okay, so there's 2 Moraleses fighting. So we have they're fighting right back to back. Jonathan Martinez and Vince Morales. This one probably a toss up as well. Similar strikes land per minute, significant strikes. Slight edge to Martinez at 47%, Morales at 39%. Strikes absorbed. Martinez absorbs about 3.82, 4.25 for Morales. Defense is a little bit better to Martinez, but not much. Morales has 54% and Martinez has 59%. Both aren't really in grapplers either. But yeah, too close. The line is 210 for Martinez. I don't see it. Next we have Omar Morales versus Uros Medic. I think that this fight isn't even very interesting because Morales is a I think what is it? He's fighting Medic, which is he throws a heck of a lot of strikes per minute, but I think this is only like his second fight in he doesn't have very many fights in the UFC, I don't think. No, he's got 2 fights in the UFC and 3 if you consider the Dana White Contender Series. But he fought Elon Cruz, and he won that fight via TKO. Then he lost to Jalen Turner, which just I think that Morales should be able to come in there and get some takedowns on Medic. Morales is a wrestler. He should be able to do it. He's not someone that does do a lot of wrestling. He really should, though. He has a wrestling background, but doesn't do it. He would rather stand with you. Should have probably wrestled Giga. Giga was probably susceptible to it, but he just didn't try it. But Morales should be able to go in there and get Uros out of here. Easy night for him. Should be, but who knows? Next, we have Joseph Holmes versus Alan Medvasky. I don't know how to say his name. Another interesting fight because Alan has very good striking, can just absolutely lay someone out. Holmes, on the other hand, he's more of a grappler, and he's got some submission wins on his record. Rear naked choke, a guillotine, rear naked choke, rear naked choke, rear naked choke, TKO by punches. Then he lost a decision to Jamie Pickett. I think Holmes comes out here and is able to avoid Allen's striking, gets a sub. Then he's the Subway Fighter of the night for getting a submission. I don't think that's his thing, but it should be. After that, we have, which is the big one that everybody's talking about, is Jolton Almeida versus Parker Porter. This is a fight that I want to bet straight up, I just sorry about that. I want to bet it, but it's so hard to bet it because it's on the money line. Jolton Almeida is minus 625, and Parker Porter is plus 450. If you come in here and you pick method of result on Caesars, it's for Jolton Almeida to win by KO, TKO, DQ, or submission is minus 190. So it is almost minus 200 for him to win by, just win. Or not just win, but to win by finishing him. So it's a hard bet. Usually you go into a prop bet and you want to get plus money. So it'd be like plus 100, plus this, plus that. So I don't have a bet out on this bet. It is part of one of the parlays that I have, that I really, it's just one of my unofficial ones I have, and who knows if I'm not putting it out there officially as one of my picks, but I have Jolton Almeida, Holly Holm, and Chidi in a parlay, and it's plus 136. So all three of those to win. I have them in a parlay. But Jolton Almeida is a guy that he's a wrestler. Parker Porter is Parker Porter. I don't see any lead in Parker Porter's hands. I feel like they can't be that bad. They can't be that bad. I mean, none of his fights are where's my thing there? Most of his fights are going to decision. Last one against Badeau, unanimous decision. Chase Sherman, unanimous decision. Parisian, decision. Lost to Chris Dawkins by TKO. Beat Dearly Bronstrup by TKO. That's not in the UFC. His victories that are in the UFC, they're mostly decisions. He's not able to beat the elites, like Dawkins, and Dawkins is an elite. He's lost to Gabriel Gonzaga, former UFC fighter. He lost to John Jones back in 2008. So he's been around for a while. He's just not. He doesn't hit very hard. I mean, that's why I think he goes to decision a lot. I mean, he probably would knock me out, but I'm not a UFC fighter anymore. I was never a UFC fighter. I was an MMA fighter, but you know what I mean. So we're not placing any bets on that. It's a hard fight to pick. Now we're coming up to one of my favorite fights of the night. And it's kind of a toss up. It's going to be a superior grappler in Tabitha Ricci versus Polyana Viana, which, I mean, I say significant grappler in Tabitha Ricci, but it's not that, Viana doesn't have a ground game. She's won by submission with an armbar. She's twice. Last two have been armbar. Against Mallory Martin and Emily Whitmire. Not the most, well-known fighters. But, She's 3-3 in the UFC. I think Baby Shark over here, Tabitha Ricci, is the one to really watch. Her only loss is to Manon Fiorot. I can't. Manon Fiorot. So Manon's tough. That's her only loss. But I'm picking Ricci here. I've got her locked in at -130. I think she's gonna grapple Viana and I think it's gonna be a decision win. That's why I don't have any sort of finish locked in on this fight. But I do think I think she does beat Viana. Ricci beats Viana via I'm gonna go with money line -130, but I think it's gonna go to decision. If you're gonna do a prop bet, that's where I would go. But I'm going Ricci -130. And then I have our next fight is Chidi Jukwani versus Dustin Tortovic. Chidi, I don't know if you know this, but this dude is an animal. He's an animal. He's beat Fiallo, Andre Fiallo, in Bellator. But I mean, he beat him in 21 seconds. But this dude is a world class striker, one of the best. I think he's gonna be a guy to watch. He's on a 3-fight win streak. You know, he won in the Contender Series. He won his last fight night. This dude's his name is Chidi Bang Bang. So yeah, but I just think that Chidi's got this good striking. Let's take a look at Tortovic. Let's see how many he absorbs about 5 punches around or per minute. So I mean, I wouldn't want to take too many punches from Chidi. But yeah, that's one of our picks for the night. So far we got for picks, we have Chase Hooper, Vince Morales, Ricci. Oh yeah, Baby Shark. I had to write down the names. I thought I had to write them down. Then I should have wrote notes down like I usually do. But I was trying to just figure out who to pick in this card. It's and then Jonathan Holmes. I don't think that's his name. Joseph Holmes. So we got Chase Hooper, Omar Morales, Joseph Holmes. There's 3 on the prelims. And then Tabitha Ricci, and then Chidi. The main event's really a strange one because Michael Pereira is a tough guy to kind of break down. He did beat our boy Andre Fiallo. Andre Fiallo is one of my favorite fighters right now. One of my favorite prospects. Dude lights it up. Pereira 27-11. He's got 4 wins. You know, he's been with the UFC since 2019. Had a win, lost 2 in a row. One was an illegal knee, so maybe he was winning that fight. comes back, beats a couple people, Nico Price, and then Andre Fiallo. So I mean, he's alright. It's kind of a weird fight. So I mean, it's too, I mean, I see some people picking Santiago over Pereira, but it's like you think I picked Fiallo against Pereira, and I mean, Fiallo won round 1, Pereira won round 2, then round 3 was a slugfest that Pereira did enough to win. Does this happen again? And then the main event of the evening, Holly Holm, age 40, versus Ketlin Vieira. I don't have an official pick on this one either. Holly Holm, 14-5. Her losses are against world-class fighters, people that are the who's who of the MMA world. Holly Holm's losses are to Amanda Nunes, Jermaine Durandamy, Valentina Shevchenko, and Misha Tate. I believe so Misha Tate, former champion, she actually lost her championship belt to Misha Tate. So she beat Ronda Rousey, who at the time was one of the best. She's beat Raquel Pennington. Ronda Rousey lost to Tate, lost to Shevchenko, lost to Jermaine Durandamy. Then she beat Betch Kahea, and then lost to Justino. Beat Megan Anderson, lost to Amanda Nunes. Beat Raquel Pennington again, and then beat Irene Aldana, and took a year off. So being 40 and taking a year off, and then you're fighting Ketlin Vieira, who she's pretty tough. She just beat Misha Tate. She's beat Kat Zingano, Sarah McMahon. She's a tough cookie. She's younger than Holly Holm. But Holly Holm, she's a great striker, former boxing champion, I believe. Hard to read, and women's fights are hard to read. So we're not going to touch the main event either. The co-main and the main. I wish if I'm gonna put anything in there, I do have Holly Holm in a parlay. So I've got Jolton Almeida, Holly Holm, and then who was the other one? It's Jolton Almeida, Holly Holm, and okay, of course it's gonna make me log back in. And Chidi. So Chidi, Holly Holm, and Jolton Almeida to win is my parlay there. Then I've got Omar Morales to win. I got him at minus 135. Chidi to win. I have Chidi to win. I did a prop bet on this one by TKO, KO, DQ, or submission. That's at plus 100. You don't have to bet that way. You can bet money line and still make good money in case that does go decision. Then I have Tabitha Ricci at minus 130. I have Joseph Holmes by KO, TKO, DQ, or sub. That is at plus 100 as well. And then I have Chase Hooper at plus 155. So those are my picks for the card. Like I said, Chase Hooper plus 155. Holmes will be my official pick, money line. Ricci money line. Chidi money line. Omar Morales money line, and then that is it. So that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. I hope you guys do have a great night, and I hope we have a great night as well. I will not be watching the card because my cousin is getting married this weekend, so I will be at that reception. Maybe I'll catch the fights on ESPN, but probably not. We'll probably be busy eating pulled pork sandwiches and maybe consuming some beer. I don't know. They got 3 kegs. 3 kegs. I don't know why, but 3 kegs. They assume that we're all gonna drink 3 kegs. I'm not. Keg beers. I don't know. Keg beer's not that great. All right, guys. Until next time, have a great one. Don't make the bet because we said so. Make the bet because you believe so. Shout out to Jolly Mac Coffee, Glitch Energy Drink, all that good stuff. See ya.